Hello everyone, I hope everything is well on your side and thank you for joining our channel. Now I'd like to talk to you about 14 features on the Samsung S24 Ultra that you do not have on the iPhone 15s. Doesn't matter if it's Pro, Pro Max. But bear in mind that this is not a video to criticize iPhone. If you like the iPhone, then by all means stay with what you like. But of course remember that there will be features that you will not have, and I will not let you know about some of these. Number one, you will not have 8K filming. As you can see here, I'll have 8K at 30 FPS. I tried it quite a few times to film with 8K, and you can really tell that this is, of course, a higher level of resolution. However, you must also remember that you will not have the usual 60 FPS, but only 30 FPS. Nevertheless, it still works really well for stable footage. You will really like filming with 8K and 30 FPS. Okay, but number two, fewer AI features. Apple is a bit falling behind in the AI race, and the iPhone 15s do not give us all the options we have in the Samsung S24 Ultra, from creating your own wallpapers with AI to quickly translating a whole screen. I can, for example, show you. So, for example, you have a lot of information in Polish, for example, but I don't speak Polish, but it's not really a problem because I can just click on this button, click on this button on the right, and I got the English translation, so I don't have any issues. And it doesn't matter, for example, if you're trying to translate a picture, because the system will detect the text that is inside the picture and will translate that text as well. So it's like a super useful system. Let's go on to the next one. Number three. This one annoys me to some degree, which is that the iPhone does not have a pause filming button. So for example, if you're filming something, you have the video, you start filming, and you film around, and then you want to pause the filming, and then you want to start recording again. So you press it, and then continue. And then you can stop, pause it again, record again. But in the iPhone you cannot do this. You can only film and stop the filming. And that's something that annoys me quite a bit. Of course you have other apps in the App Store that help you do this, but sometimes there is a symbol that they would leave on the videos, or you would have to pay for something else, and it's not something that I really enjoy. So it's something that, in my opinion, Apple should change, and I believe that wouldn't take that long, but it's another feature we will not have. Number four, of course, it is known that iPhones do not have a stationary back button, as you can see here. This is not a big issue, but I do like that there's a stationary back button on Samsung and Android phones in general. Of course, in iPhone you will have the back button usually either by sliding, or you will have the back button sometimes here on the top left. But still, and for sure there are apps on the App Store that may allow you to do this. But in my opinion, I like to have a fixed button here, as you have on Android phones. It just makes it easier and faster, and not having to search for the top left or sliding or others. I believe it's always better to have it fixed. Number five is that there is no fingerprint sensor. This is something well known to practically everyone. iPhones do not have a fingerprint sensor. I believe, of course, it should have. It's just a bit better in my opinion, because it works in the dark, it works in normal lighting conditions. You don't have to have it pointed at the phone pointed at your face. It just goes better and makes life easier, which is what we want. And number six, you won't have the S Pen. This is not something that I would use on a regular basis. I don't use the S Pen that much, but again, better to have it than not to have it. And especially if you want to do like drawing, like artistic drawing, then the pen is useful. It's also useful, for example, if you want to take pictures in nature, let's say you don't have anyone to take pictures to help you with the pictures. So the pen, you can use the pen to take the picture at the moment you would like on this button that you see here. And this button allows you some configuration as well, but it helps a lot in taking pictures when you're doing it by yourself, or even if you're not doing it on yourself, if you have a group and you want to take the picture at the exact moment and you don't want to wait for the timer to go down, for example. So it's, again, better to have it than not to have it, even though I don't use it very much. Number 7 that you will not have, it's Samsung DeX. Samsung DeX is something quite rare, I would say, even on most brands. Samsung offers you this option of connecting your Type-C to an HDMI, and then your computer will become you'll have a desktop experience. Even it doesn't substitute a Windows computer, for example, or even maybe even an iMac or a MacBook. But still, it's good to be able to just have your phone and be able to transform it completely into a desktop, have a desktop experience. You will just need the screen and maybe a keyboard and a mouse, but you don't really need them because the screen of the phone will work as a mouse, and for a keyboard might come in handy, but sometimes you could do things even without a keyboard. So again, better to have it than not to have it. Then number 8, no split screen. This is something that I actually quite enjoy, which is the ability to put, for example, let's put Google Chrome here, and then here I'll open, I don't know, let's open the calendar here. I might be checking something on my calendar, and you can regulate the size here. You can make one bigger, one smaller, and you can even, let me close all of this, and you can even do 3 apps at once. So you can have 3 apps open on your phone, which is really amazing. And for that, you do this, drag it down here, you have 1. Then you can open up Threads, for example, and you would have it here, for example, 1, 2, and you would do the same, and you'd have the 3rd app open, like for example Instagram. Now put here, and now you have 3 apps open, which is amazing. You can see here, you can actually, for example, here you can even divide it even more. Yes, like this. 1, 2, and here 3. So let's change the sizes a little bit. And you can see that they both kind of fit here. This is, of course, you wouldn't use this that much, but again, better to have it than not to have it. Another case is, of course, less configuration that you'd have ready on your Samsung. For example, we can, this is something that I like to do, which is on each of these little squares with groups of apps, I can change the color of each of them. For example, this one, as you can see, was on a light blue. And then the whole group of apps is here on light blue. For example, this one is in a pinkish color, this one is green, blue, and this is just an example. You have many others, but it's something that just makes the phone really yours and gives you an ability to customize a lot more than you can on iPhone. It's always good to have it. Of course, you must also remember that there's another issue, which is what is usually called the Apple tax. The Apple tax is basically when you're buying, it can be on several shopping apps, you will notice that the price is always slightly higher if you're buying it on an iPhone as compared to buying it on Android or a Windows computer, because you just have to pay that what is called the Apple tax, and it's something that you must be aware of. And so in some cases, of course, maybe it can be justifiable, but most of the cases you're just paying extra for something that you would get cheaper and exactly the same product. So in some cases it can make sense, in a lot of cases it will not make sense. Of course, another issue that you will have with the iPhone 15 Pro Max is the zoom. Of course, there's always a lot of debates on which one has the best camera, if it's Samsung S24 ULTRA or the 15 Pro Max or any other kind of phone, or the Google Pixel. It will depend. But one thing that Samsung really has an edge, I would say, is on the zoom, because the zoom reaches much longer distances as compared to iPhones, and still with quite a good quality. Of course, there's a lot of AI generation, but still quite a very good quality, and the distance that it gets is amazing. Another issue that I personally do not like on iPhones, ever since the 12 series, which is when you're filming at night, you will see that if you're filming on an area that has a lot of lamps, for example, you will get a lot of light reflections as compared with, in this case, I'm only talking about Samsung. Samsung will kind of erase and blur those flares, those light reflections. On the iPhone, you will have a lot of light reflections. That helps in day pictures, I believe, because it gives the picture more lucid view, I would say. But it does not help at night, because whenever you're filming areas that are dark and with lamps, then the picture will be just full of little light reflections, which I really don't like. But of course, you choose whatever you prefer, and it's up to you. This is more of a personal opinion, that not so much a feature, or let's say that it's a feature in the sense that you will for sure have those light reflections at night, and you will not have it on Samsung. But some people are okay with that. But in my personal preference, I don't like those light reflections from lamps or others. Number 13 that you should know about is that usually the iPhones have a slightly smaller battery, and usually lasts a bit less. I would say on an average of 20 minutes, at 20 minutes less battery time. Of course, on equivalent models. So, for example, iPhone 15 Pro Max to Samsung S24 ULTRA. So that is something to pay attention to. So iPhones are not known for the longest batteries. Of course, they have good batteries, but they're usually not the longest lasting. It would be like usually about 20 minutes less. The last feature, or if we can call it a feature, which is number 14, is the fact that you will have less promotions when buying a newly released model. So, for example, what I'm telling you works in some countries that I've noticed, but it doesn't happen in every country. So, for example, when I bought this Samsung S24 ULTRA, so I got this Samsung S24 ULTRA with 500 gigabytes of storage, but I only paid the price of the 250 gigabytes one. So it's a promotion. I had to buy it just 2-3 days after the launch of the Samsung S24 ULTRA, and but still I to the best of my knowledge, I never seen any kind of promotion such as this with the iPhone, with iPhones or with Apple in general. Maybe it works in your country, but at least I haven't seen it. And you also, here where I bought it in Poland, and where I bought it, I also got the opportunity to get the Samsung Buds Extra completely free. You just have to apply to this Samsung members promotion, and you will get Samsung Buds for free. But again, if you buy just in the week of the launch. So it's really good that you have all of these promotions. And to the best of my knowledge, I don't think Apple gives these promotions, but if by any chance you hear of some, please let me know. And that was it. These are 14 features that are on the Samsung S24 Ultra that you don't have on the iPhone 15s. But still, if you like the iPhone, then you like the iPhone. It's just a matter of personal taste. But these are features. There's about one that is a personal opinion, but the rest are actually features themselves that you do not have, and that's actually quite good. So it's up to you. Let me know if you're more into iPhones or into Samsung, and please stay in touch. Please subscribe to the channel, and we'll be in touch. See you in the next one. Bye.